Coach, just thoughts on the game today?
You know, it's a 40-minute game, and I just feel like you got to put together 40 minutes of basketball where all five guys are really connected. And I just feel like throughout the games, and that first half was full of opportunities. I thought we were getting stops, had some great looks offensively. At the time when we had to lead, and even when they kind of made a little run, I felt offensively we were fine. And then when the offense stopped going in, we had great looks that didn't go in. We maybe missed some free throws. I'd have to go back and see how it played out. But I thought the last 6 or 7 minutes it became really downhill. I thought our defense really let us down. I felt like it was a lot of dribble drive right at us. Our bigs came over and helped, but we just didn't help them much. We didn't get rotations the way we needed to. And that energy, like for 40 minutes, how you got to play, like you just can't. You can't have the runs that we give up. And I just felt like the run they went off in that first half to build that lead going into halftime was unfortunate. The second half, we showed some signs of life. We do some things, and I thought offensively, most of the night, a lot of the night, we got good looks, and I think our field goal percentage, our offensive turnover, assisted turnover ratio kind of shows it. But we lose energy on the defensive side. We lose attentiveness on the defensive side, and the rebounding part of it, obviously, they really popped us on the glass. The second chance points, you might think would be more lopsided, but they were 14 apiece. But I just felt like we didn't do a good enough job on the glass like we need to. But it would have been nice to get more offensive for us. And but just disappointing because for 40 minutes, if we play a more complete game, I think it's a different story. And it's a little bit like the Riverside game that way.
I was going to say, like that Riverside game, you guys were able to find a spark there. Is that just a matter of guys hitting shots when you're able to kind of find that momentum and really breathe some life, or is it playing on both sides?
Well, I thought in the first half especially, we had really good looks. Like off stops, we had good opportunities. A couple great looks from three, even a couple shots around the rim. And as those didn't fall, whether we had to lead or they kind of closed back in, that's where we lost our energy some. I thought the second half, it was a little bit better. Sometimes our effort in the second half kind of forced us into some, mistakes, whether it was a foul or things like that. But the first half, I just felt like our offense, and then when it stalled a little bit in that first half, I thought it kind of impacted us defensively. We just didn't do a very good job guarding the basketball. We got the ball out of the ball. They'd get the ball out of our traps, and we were there. We're in rotation. We'd get switches. We'd get there in front, and then we just weren't able to kind of keep those guys out of the lane. And when our help did come, we just didn't continue to help our teammates and rotate the way we need to. And that's not how we do it. Like we got to be so much better at that. And we're a work in progress. But it's like it's something where I didn't feel great about our practices leading into these games. So I think sometimes, and we talked about it as a staff a little bit, and we talked to the guys about it. Like if we're going to come in and have the attention to it defensively and just treat it that way in practice at times, you're probably going to fall victim to it in a game, and I felt like that happened.
Davis and Hughes were both obviously super effective for them. Was that a matter of just their athleticism, their strength as a player, and combined with maybe the defensive lapses?
Well, it's funny because we really knew Davis was going to play off 2 feet really well and do exactly what he did, and a lot of it was staying down on him. And again, I thought at times we did, and at times he really physical, kind of low to ground, almost a bowling ball type kid when he attacks you. And then Hughes, he really made us pay. Like any kind of rotation where we're closing to him, I think he was 6 or 7 from 3, and I think that really he hit some big daggers for them, I thought. But those two guys obviously kind of set the tone, and like Seven, obviously had a really good game too, but. Yeah, it's hard, man. Like for 40 minutes, you gotta be more intentional with how hard you're playing and how connected you are and how engaged you are. And at times we show we show that we can be really good at that. But for 40 minutes, we haven't been able to do it yet. So that's the job.
How good was Greyson today? It seemed like when there were some offensive lapses, he was able to kind of spark it back for you guys.
Yeah, I just like looking. It's funny with confidence offensively, and that's kind of what we talked about, even coming off Riverside, whether it was the free throws or some great looks we had. It's like, hey, you guys work at it every day. Have some fun, get out there and play. And I thought Greyson went out there and balled tonight. I just thought he was really good at having confidence and being a good offensive player and making right plays and not worrying about contact, not worrying about a call, not worrying about other stuff. He just was really locked in. And it's a good example of, how we need to be more. And for a redshirt freshman, that's a pretty good job. Anthony Smith's doing that for us as a true freshman. Which is awesome to see. And it was fun to see. I thought Garrett in the second half, you started seeing a little bit of what Garrett Anderson can do offensively as well. So we are truly a work in progress with what we're doing. It was good to get Micah on the floor, get him some minutes and get him out there playing. This week of practice, we've got a practice tomorrow. We got Mayville Tuesday. And then we got some time to practice this week before we play again. So, it's just each day take advantage of the opportunity and let's get better and let's not have bad practices. Let's not have practices where, we're leaving feeling like, where were our heads today? And I felt like a couple practices coming in, it felt a little bit like that. So we got to be better.
Just thoughts on the game today?
I thought we played well. We struggled a little bit defensively to start the game and just let them go on a couple too many runs, and we didn't stop them quick enough, but thought we played well and we made a big improvement since last game.
Coach said you kind of played loose out there. He liked the way you played. You weren't worried about things outside the game, I guess. What do you think you were doing well?
Yeah, it was nice to finally see a couple of shots drop early, and then from there felt really loose out there, and the coach just kind of gave me the green light to keep shooting and keep playing.
Coach said that he'd like to see like a 40-minute effort from you guys because obviously you guys got behind there in the second, were able to come back. But what do you guys got to do to play a full 40? Yeah,
we just got to make the first punch. I feel like the team's been making the first punch on us recently, and we just got to be there, make the first punch, and then cut their runs because it's a game of runs, and they'll go on their runs, we'll go on our runs, but we just got to limit their runs more so.
They were pretty good on the glass today. Was that a matter of like athleticism or effort? What
Yeah, I'd say they were athletic, but we missed a couple rebounds that we definitely should have got. But they were crashing hard, so props to them. But we got to rebound better.
Coach also said he was maybe frustrated with a little bit of the practices coming into today. Did you notice an effort thing, or is that just he's just trying to get you guys fired up?
Yeah, we got to definitely come into practice more so, treat it like a game, be ready to play. We've kind of lacked a little bit in practice, so we'll definitely start to come in a little harder and be ready to play.
What are you guys doing well offensively when you are kind of kicking it up there? Because you guys, like I said, in that second half, you came back and made it a game. What are you guys doing better?
Just movement on offense, setting a lot of brushes, getting open, quick boomerangs, everything that the coaches talked about pretty much, just not staying still.